The colony ship Verdant Dawn had crash-landed on Zerath Prime 3 months ago, and Leo Chen had learned to survive in ways the training simulations never prepared him for. The alien jungle breathed around him, bioluminescent vines pulsing like arteries, crystalline trees humming frequencies that made his teeth ache. But today something else caught his attention, a small whimpering sound cutting through the ambient drone. He pushed through the purple undergrowth and found it, a creature no larger than a house cat, its chitinous shell cracked and oozing a silvery fluid. 6 legs twitched weakly and its compound eyes flickered with pain. Leo had seen creatures like this before, though much larger. The colonists called them scritchers, insectoid apex predators that had killed 2 people already. "Damn it," Leo muttered, kneeling beside the injured hatchling. Every survival instinct screamed at him to walk away. But he'd been a veterinary student back on Earth, and some impulses ran deeper than fear. He carefully scooped the creature into his arms, feeling its rapid heartbeat against his chest. It made a clicking sound, almost like purring, and stopped struggling. "Let's get you patched up, little one." What Leo didn't notice was the massive shadow detaching itself from the canopy above. What he couldn't know was that the little one in his arms was a princess of the Zerathi hive, and the shadow following him was Queen Mia Thazara herself, in her full 30-foot glory. Mia had been searching for her daughter for 2 sleep cycles. When the juvenile wandered from the nursery caverns, panic had rippled through every drone in the hive. The queen's telepathic screams had shattered crystalline formations for miles. Her daughter was everything, the future of their species, the carrier of genetic memories spanning millennia. And now this soft-skinned alien was carrying her away. Mia's killing claws extended reflexively. 1 strike. That's all it would take. But she hesitated. The human moved with surprising gentleness, adjusting his grip to avoid the princess's injured plates. He spoke to her in that bizarre verbal language, meaningless sounds that somehow carried comfort. What manner of creature cares for its predator's young? Mia followed at a distance, her natural camouflage making her nearly invisible against the jungle backdrop. She watched as the human entered a crude structure, one of the crash survivor settlements. She pressed against the outer wall, her antennae picking up vibrations and chemical signatures from within. Inside his shelter, Leo worked quickly. He'd salvaged medical supplies from the wreckage, though nothing was designed for alien physiology. The hatchling lay on his workbench, still clicking softly. Its eyes followed his movements with unsettling intelligence. "Okay, so you're definitely not a dog," Leo said, studying the cracked carapace. "But trauma is trauma." He cleaned the wounds with sterilized water, noting how the creature's biology was simultaneously familiar and utterly foreign. The silvery fluid was clearly analogous to blood, and the way the hatchling tensed when he touched certain areas suggested a sophisticated nervous system. Mia, listening from outside, felt something unprecedented, her threat assessment of the human dropping to 0. Through her daughter's eyes, the hive connection still intact despite the distance, she experienced the human's careful ministrations. She felt her daughter's pain decreasing, felt the gentle warmth of his hands. He knows healing, Mia realized. This creature understands medicine. Leo worked for hours, using surgical adhesive to seal the worst cracks and fashioning a splint for one of the bent legs. The hatchling never tried to bite him, never resisted. When he finally finished, it nuzzled against his hand with its mandibles, a gesture that would have terrified him days ago but now seemed almost affectionate. "There you go," he said, exhaustion creeping into his voice. "You'll need to stay off that leg for a while, but you should heal. Probably, assuming your biology works anything like..." The wall of his shelter exploded inward. Leo threw himself backward as an enormous scritcher filled the doorway. No, filled the entire room. This wasn't just big, it was impossibly massive, its carapace adorned with patterns that seemed to shift and glow. Every instinct told him he was about to die. But the creature didn't attack. It moved with deliberate slowness, its massive head turning toward the hatchling on the workbench. The small one chirped excitedly, and Leo watched in stunned silence as the giant carefully picked up the juvenile with appendages that could have crushed steel, but moved with the delicacy of a jeweler. Then the creature turned to Leo. He felt something pressing against his mind, not words, but concepts, images, emotions, gratitude, recognition, protection. A vision flooded his consciousness. The Zerathi hive, millions strong, spanning continents. The queen before him, ancient and powerful, the hatchling, a princess, and himself impossibly being shown something that looked like acceptance. "Holy shit," Leo whispered. "You're the queen. And I just saved your daughter." Mia projected another concept. Agreement. Then something more complex, a promise. The human colony would be under hive protection. No Zerathi would hunt them. More than that, alliance. The hive had knowledge of this world that the humans desperately needed. And the humans, it seemed, had something the hive had never encountered. Compassion for life that wasn't their own. As the queen turned to leave, the princess looked back at Leo one final time. Her compound eyes seemed almost grateful. Mia paused at the doorway and Leo felt one last projection. His face remembered. His scent catalogued. His actions honored. When they vanished into the jungle, Leo collapsed against his workbench, his hands shaking. He'd come to Zerath Prime expecting to fight for survival against a hostile world. Instead, he'd made first contact by doing the simplest thing imaginable. Showing kindness to something small and hurt. The next morning, Leo woke to find the entrance of the human settlement surrounded by Zerathi drones. But they weren't attacking, they were standing guard. And at the base of his shelter lay dozens of crystalline fruits, edible plants the humans had been struggling to identify, and what looked like a map etched into a piece of shell, showing safe water sources. Mia had kept her promise. The human who saved her daughter had, unknowingly, saved his entire species. Leo smiled, looking out at the alien guards. "Well," he said to no one in particular, "I guess veterinary school finally paid off." In the deep caverns beneath the jungle, Queen Miathzara held her daughter close and remembered the soft-skinned creature who had chosen compassion over fear. In the vast genetic memory of the hive, a new story was being written, one about the day humanity proved itself worthy of the stars not through strength, but through an act of simple, profound kindness. And somewhere in the neural network connecting millions of Zerathi minds, a single word emerged, a concept that would change two species forever. Ally.